Welcome to The Force Always. My name is Diz, aka David Zammit. Let's get on with the show with the news, the views, the reviews, and interviews. And today is a special edition. It is the morning here. Masters of the Universe review. That is yet to come. I'm about to head out now to a morning session. I'm going to review the actual film, but also review the cinema I'm going to, which is Apex. Apex is a part of the Hoyts brand here. It's available at Melbourne Central. That is a shopping type centre in the middle of Melbourne. This was actually suggested to me by one of the higher-ups in Hoyts that I see every so often, and it got me intrigued, and I thought, well, why not to see this particular film? So the regular news, views, and reviews that I usually will have will be for the next episode. Especially with my interview section, the comment that I got on the last video, I'll answer that in the next question, and that was, I think, to Nomus7791. I will attend to that. But yeah, so today is dedicated to pretty much Masters of the Universe review and the Apex Cinema that's in Hoyts in Melbourne Central. And let's go and check it out now. So this time we're going to see at a different cinema, Melbourne Central, inside of Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, just in case you don't know. Advertised and told the story already. Should be a big one. So this time we're going to see at a different cinema, Melbourne Central, inside of Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, just in case you don't know. Advertised and told the story already. Should be a big one. So it's about 9:30 a.m. at the moment. We are in Melbourne Central. This is a famous clock everyone sort of gathers around when the hour strikes. We're inside Melbourne Central, inside a massive glass cone and an old school chimney of Melbourne. The actual cinema is right up there. Here's the Kool-Aid and the popcorn container and a great bit of advertising poster. Look at that one. Imagine putting that in your room. We're almost there. Masters of the Universe review coming up. Okay, so let's go.
More comfort, more luxury. Indulge yourself with Hoyts and experience more crowd.
There it is, the Apex Theatre. We're going inside. Okay, so I'll get home now and give you the review. Okay, so I'm now back from the Masters of the Universe. Let me get straight off the bat. I'm going to review a number of things here. I'm reviewing the movie. I'm reviewing the stuff that I got from there. And even this Apex movie theatre, which is brand new. So, Masters of the Universe gets, straight off the bat, 5.5 out of 10. Okay, so this film is good, but it's very shallow in its, in-depth sort of storytelling. It does have a classic story to be told, intro, body, outro, or first act, second act, third act, but the shallowness of it just continues for so far, and the movie doesn't really get started till so late in the piece. And what I mean by that, and this is partly a spoiler, is that when it gets really into the He-Man sort of stuff, it's well into the film. The humor, the subtle reality type humor, I would call it, nothing that's, sarcastic or too over the top, was just, it really just did take you out of the film a bit. It just, Master of the Universe, I mean, it was around when I was a kid. I was unable to get Master of the Universe stuff because it was more expensive, and we just couldn't afford it as kids. And I knew friends who had it and they looked so fantastic. The figurines were great. But the cartoon, as I remember, had He-Man to be a bit more of a serious, stronger identity. Doesn't mean it's because it's a man, but the identity was more serious and more stronger. With this particular He-Man, I think he's suited to the part. I think he did well, but I think his direction was, and the story writing was just made him look a bit shallow, not so, it wasn't taken seriously like this is, let's get ready to rumble type of thing. It was shallow. It's definitely suited towards an 8-year-old kid. Now, I'd say boy or girl, because the two lead actors, one being female, one being male, He-Man and I think it's, I don't know the name of the actual lead character. No, I think it's Sheena or something like that. And they're both good leads, and that could be suited to boys or girls. But I think it's more of an 8-year-old sort of venture type story. I think the worst part of the film was Battle Cat. Battle Cat's voice, like in Mandalorian and Grogu, really didn't suit the style of character. It needed to be, I hate to say this, being a tiger, it needed to be more fluffy. It needed to be more, grunt about it. Nothing too deeply out of control, but enough to have a bit of grunt and fluff. When I say fluff, very, just a lot of grain to the base of the voice, and it was just not really, I don't know, it was just not suited. Like the other characters who had voices, like the robot, suited perfectly, but Battle Cat was a bit of a thing. And some of the shots where Battle Cat visually looked really stagnant, looked really like it looked like the CGI wasn't really in nice stream sort of flow, and I think because I think they sort of partly made out this. They made out this story, this movie, to be a partly cartoon-like, especially the closing shot. It just looked a bit, I don't know, just out of place to the rest of the shots. It's definitely a fun film to watch. I don't know if I'd be going in a premium cinema to watch this. I'd watch it for the hell of it. I don't think you really need IMAX. I don't think you really need all these. You just need a standard film theater. It's okay. Yeah. So that's what I thought. Now here comes the things I got. Now you could get a Skeletor or you could get a He-Man one. Now this is the actual Masters of the Universe, as I would say, Kool-Aid drink container. It's okay. Like, I'll give that, besides the sort of top part, which actually comes off, you can look at that. Heavens knows what the theaters are doing, possibly stealing of those things. Just going to take a Mandalorian peel there. I'll give this 5.5 out of 10. It's nothing exciting. It's okay, You could have done He-Man and Skeletor. I chose Skeletor. It just looked a bit better. I usually am a person who goes for the good side of things, but this time I just thought I'd go for that. The popcorn container. This is the popcorn container. If you can sort of see, it's got a 3D image. It goes from Skeletor to He-Man. It's just a straightforward tin, but then you've got the top sort of nicely enamel, and inside the lining is of characters from He-Man, including that part. It's okay. It's not very creative. It's just a bit of a boring box with a cool sort of 3D thing in it with some lining. Again, 5.5 out of 10. So look, I wasn't over the top. I think generally the film is, and the popcorn containers, a bit shallow. A bit shallow. The humor was just too much of it in a reality sort of sense. When I say that, just sort of little funny things in life, but nothing sarcastic. And it's just the seriousness of, the type of film, you really want to get in the depth of, the epic, fight. And I just didn't get that. The cinema I was in maybe had 10 people in it. It was a 10 a.m. session. It was the first session. And they were all, guys roughly my age. There was one dad and daughter there, which I thought was good. But it will definitely get busy on the weekend. I wouldn't look at that as an indication of poor, ticket sales, but I just think it's going to be something different. Now, going to the Apex Theatre, I was suggested by a higher up to go and check this out. He actually explained it to me, which made me sort of intrigued about this. He said the actual sound comes through the screen. It's a nice theatre. Now, I'll tell you this. It's a very nice theatre, but there's nothing unique about it. That is, stand out. Like, when I went in there, I watched the film, I listened to it. It was like it was your regular, great Hoyt cinema. Now, Hoyts are great, Village are great in their two different ways. But I just thought it was nothing unique. I didn't get anything unique about it. I didn't, notice the sound that was more intense or whatever it was. They did have big Apex logos on the side, which was a little bit distracting. Sort of partly through the film, you sort of see them. The seats were actually, now Hoyts is really known for its electronic recliners. This one is a part recliner, but it's only a fold back sort of area. There's nothing with your feet. It's a smaller seat, but it's a more sort of like sports car type seat. Beautiful seats, but I just thought the regular extreme screen that Hoyts have is probably a better experience. I think Apex is okay. It's a variation. They really do need to just do a couple of things to make it unique, because you go in there, you come out of there thinking, well, that was great. It was good, but just great. I give that experience, I reckon I'm going to go a 7 out of 10, because I just thought the electronic recliner thing is actually a real special thing that you have in the main Hoyt cinemas. But anyway, yeah, so that was the whole experience with Masters of the Universe and the Apex Theatre. You got all my scores there. Look, the only other part to this show, and the next episode I will be answering the questions on the last particular show that I did, which is not this one, the one before, which was, I think, Star Wars Episode 10, 11, and 12. That was the name of the actual thing. I will answer those questions, any questions from this one, in the next episode. But the only Star Wars news is that I have written again to Star Wars Celebration, ReedPop, and sort of put in my thing of, I'm just going to be on the ball with this. They did reply, and they said with tickets for LA Star Wars Celebration, they can't guarantee anything will happen, but they're going to do their very best. They did acknowledge they saw my name on a list, a wait list, so it's really important to get yourselves on a wait list. So again, I implore you guys out there who missed out on Star Wars Celebration tickets to really write in to ReedPop, and it's Star Wars Celebration at reedpop.com Star Wars Celebration at reedpop.com is their email address. Send in your desire to be on a wait list, and send in what you thought of the whole problem to that event. But anyway, that's really the only Star Wars news I've got at this point in time. subscribe to the channel, The Force Always. I'm here 3 or 4 times a week with the Star Wars news, views, and reviews. And, like and share the episode if you like. It's up to you. But until next time, my friends, keep rocking.